Former FBI Director James Comey made his first court appearance in Virginia today, charged with threatening President Trump. A grand jury indicted Comey yesterday over a social media post he made last year. The photo, which is on your screen, shows seashells and rocks forming the numbers 8647. Comey later deleted the post. The Justice Department says those numbers constitute a threat because 86 is something to get rid of, and the president is America's 47th president. Comey was not arraigned today. He did not enter a plea. The judge hearing the case denied the Justice Department's attempts to set conditions for his release, saying they weren't necessary. And President Trump was asked about Comey and that social media post today in the Oval Office.
But do you really think your life was in danger?
Probably. I don't know. You know, based on what I'm seeing out there, yeah, the people like Comey have created tremendous danger, I think, for politicians and others.
CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen joins me now. So, Jake, you were at the courthouse today. What can you tell us?
Well, it was a very brief hearing. There was just an initial reading of the charges by this federal magistrate judge. The Department of Justice tried to argue, like you mentioned, Lindsay, for potential conditions on the former FBI director's release, and the judge denied those, saying in this first case against James Comey, which is currently defeated in district court and upon appeal on the previous charges of allegedly lying to Congress, there were no conditions needed for James Comey to be released on. That should apply in this case. And James Comey's attorneys said that they're going to file a set of motions in North Carolina, not Virginia, seeking to dismiss these charges for selective and vindictive prosecution, citing President Trump's social media posts and public statements about James Comey over the last 10 years.
What are legal experts telling you about the case the DOJ has?
Lindsay, I've spoken to former federal prosecutors who worked on the Capitol siege and led criminal divisions in places like the Southern District of New York who have worked on these specific threat charges, in addition to First Amendment experts. And they all say that this indictment, as we have it now, without any additional new evidence, is extremely weak, mainly, Lindsay, because there's a very high bar for the true threat, as it's called, to be considered in a federal court of law. The defendant in this case, James Comey, would have to have known what he was doing was wrong, and then it would have to be driven by an intent to threaten. What actions has James Comey, if any, taken since that post was posted, deleted, and then James Comey posted an apology that would have led to potentially a threat against President Trump's life? This one former prosecutor told me that there's no evidence of any of that, and also questioned why these charges were brought when they were, when if James Comey was a true threat to the president, as any other normal person would be if they posted something similar online, the FBI or Secret Service would go to that person's door, investigate them, and then the charges would be filed imminently because it would be seen as an imminent threat to the president's life, taking a year almost to bring these charges against the former FBI director, this prosecutor said, is unusual and really undercuts the Department of Justice's case.
Jake Rosen, thank you.